All right, it is Tuesday, June 28th. We have 2 more days left of this month, so keep pushing. We are going to talk today about some time management and life balance. I know that we're all super crazy. I work 5 part-time jobs and I go to school full-time, so I figured this would be a good topic just to kind of share about and share how I do things a little bit and kind of my mindset about time. I do have some slides, so bear with me for a second because I don't really know how to do this. So you'll have to let me know. I'm working on it. Share screen. Okay. All right, can you see that? Okay, cool. And then, Christine, you muted yourself, right? Okay, cool. All right, so we will go ahead and start. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to start talking about how we can think about time a little bit differently. How we choose to think about time is way more than just logical. We think about time just as numbers, but it's definitely emotional. The way that we spend our time definitely relates to our emotions. If we want to avoid something because it frustrates us or it stresses us out, we're definitely going to. So we may put something off just because we're emotionally attached to it, or we may put something first because we're emotionally attached to it. So it goes way further than the logical aspects of it. We definitely cannot manage time. No matter what, time is always going to be the same. So people say that all the time. They're like, manage your time better. But we all have the same amount of hours in the day, the same amount of minutes, same amount of seconds. It's just really how we manage ourselves that matters. So if you start thinking about time management as managing yourself versus managing time, I think we can really push forward in a different way because we're taking responsibility and ownership of our time. So that's how I want you guys to start thinking about that. We're going to go a little bit deeper, and you'll see this word self-management a few more times as I scroll through. And if I'm talking too fast, just yell at me because I can slow down. I teach for my real job, and so I'm so used to cramming so much into like a 50-minute session, so I speed talk. So the one way that a lot of us think, it's called one-dimensional thinking, and we all think that we want to be more efficient. So true or false, what do you guys think? If we develop, you can give me a thumbs up for true. If we develop more tools, technology, tips, and tricks, we can get our to-do list done faster. Right? Yeah, so we all think that. So in theory, if we develop all these tricks and we have all this technology, we have our to-do list, then we're going to have more time, right? But if you think about it, everyone has a smartphone. We have the most powerful tool possible in our pocket every day. We carry it with us everywhere. And somehow we're still always behind, right? We feel like we're always trying to play catch up. So maybe being efficient isn't the best way. So then we move into our two-dimensional thinking. Someone one day was really smart and said, okay, maybe this isn't working. So let's talk about prioritizing. So prioritizing is all about putting what matters most first. So we're saying that something matters more than something else. So we're going to do that first. And that sounds really smart too. But if you think about it, all we're doing is shifting around our to-do list. Yeah, we might be bumping something up, but if we bump something up, we're moving something down. So we're constantly just moving things around. So efficiency is kind of like a hamster in a wheel. We're just going to keep going and going and going. And then prioritizing is like a juggler. We're just shifting things around, but nothing is really getting done. We might check 1 or 2 things off, but we're just keep shifting. So do you ever feel this way? Do you feel like you're shifting things around or just keep going in a circle and nothing's getting done? So then we got into our 3-dimensional thinking. So this is where we want to be now. And this is when we look at the significance of things. So number 1 was urgency. So that was how soon doesn't matter. So that's our efficiency. Number 2, prioritizing was importance. How much doesn't matter. And then 3, significance is how long will it matter. So what can you do right now to better your future? And that's what we want to concentrate on. So when we look at our tasks, we want to decide if this task that I'm going to do right now is going to matter tomorrow. Is it going to matter a week from now? Is it going to matter a month from now, etc. So you want to make sure that you're kind of looking at the big picture when you decide what tasks to do. So again, I said before that we can't exactly add more time to our day or change the amount of time we have in a day, but we can manage ourselves. So you can multiply your time by giving yourself the emotional permission to spend time on things that will give you more time tomorrow. This is going to give you just kind of that release that, hey, it's okay that I'm spending time on this because there's a purpose behind it. I know that there's going to be some kind of reward at the end, and I know that this task is important, so that way I can move forward and it will benefit me later down the road. So if you think of time in that sense, that it's okay to be doing this task, I need to be doing this task, then you're going to feel like you have more time. So you're like, that's cool. Now what, right? So that's where the focus funnel comes in. So I can't even remember where I learned about the focus funnel, but I've been using it for a while now and I really love it. So the focus funnel, if you look at the top of the funnel, I wish I had like a pointer so I could point on my screen, but where the little tasks thing is. So your tasks are going to come in and drop in from the top. So I want you to ask yourself, can I eliminate this task? Is it absolutely necessary? Sometimes what you don't do is more important than what you do. So we live in a world, I think that's an amazing quote, because I always say yes. I'm always afraid to say no. I'm always picking up more tasks than I need to. So sometimes what you don't do is more important than what you do. So just remember that it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no to tasks that don't matter or no to something that you don't necessarily have time for. Don't try and be a hero all the time. Just people will understand. Your boss will understand. Your mom will understand. Your sister, your best friend, your boyfriend, whatever. Just make sure that we're communicating. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later too. So your task went into the eliminate spot and you said, I need to do this task. It cannot be eliminated. So the next one is automate. So here you're going to see if you can somehow create a process to get this done faster, so to be more efficient, to create some type of step-by-step process that it will just get done pretty quickly. So that's automate, but then you're like, hey, hi Janelle. You're like, hey, this can't be automatically done. It needs hands-on attention. So then you're going to see if you can delegate it. So delegating is to see if someone can help you with the task. I think in today's world, we're so afraid to ask for help that we just carry too much on our own shoulders, and we just need to make sure that we're saying, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, your leadership skills are really good. Do you think you'd be able to help me with this task? Or you're really organized. Try and utilize people that have strengths that you may not have, or even someone who thinks just like you, because then you know that the task is going to get done similar to a way that you would. So then you're like, all right, well, no one else can do this task. I need to do it. That happens. So next is going to go to me. So that task is going to fall on me, and I need to decide, can it be done now? Does it have to be done now, or can it be done later? So what I like to call this is procrastinating on purpose. Okay? So we've always been taught, like, don't procrastinate, that's bad. But waiting to do something we know we need to do is the killer of success. But waiting to do something because it's not the right time is smart. It's smart to put something off till later. You know you're still going to do it. It's going to go back into that funnel, and you'll decide if right now is the right time to do it. But that's smart, and you don't want to say, hey, no, I'm just going to ditch this task forever. But if you keep putting off something you need to do and you just never do it, then that's going to kill your success. It's okay to procrastinate if you have a reason for it, if you're being smart about it. Does that make sense? Cool. All right, so you're like, Courtney, that's really cool. We're thinking about time in a new way, but now what do we do, right? So it's all about mindset. You hear Colleen talk about it all the time. I don't know if either of you guys are in Janelle's Attitude to Gratitude group, but she talks about it all the time, and it's huge. So number one, to help, and you're gonna be like, how does this help with time management? Like, it doesn't, but I promise you it does. So your number one is positive self-talk and affirmations. So if you tell yourself every single day, so you wake up, you're like, I have this huge to-do list, I don't know what to do, just tell yourself, I use my time well. I am getting things done on time. Talk to yourself about it. Eventually, your external behaviors are going to turn into your internal thoughts, okay? Number two is visualization. So you guys need to picture yourself doing things efficiently. Do the things that you see represent who you will be. So the things that you're seeing in your brain is what you're going to be in life. So the more that you do it, the better you're going to get at it. You want to visualize what it looks like when you're being productive. So if you could knock out all the negativity in your life, all the things that distract you, what does that look like when you are being 100% productive? So make sure you're visualizing that. 3 is meditation. Meditation is a hard thing to do. It's very hard to do in our society where we're taught to always be busy. We have so many distractions. Again, our very efficient smartphones that we have. They're always there. They're always distracting. There's always someone who wants to talk to us. There's always something we want to look at. But sometimes if we just sit and we clear our mind and sit in silence, the things that you can accomplish with a clear mind will literally blow your mind. Like, I don't even know how to say that differently. Like, when you can think clearly, you will perform at such a better level. So therefore, your self-management will be so much better. And number 4, fake it till you make it. Eventually, your action is going to teach your mind that this is your reality. The more things you do, the more times you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And then eventually your mind will catch on, your body will catch on, and it will become your everyday life. So again, I was talking about self-management before, and it's all about choice. You're going to be deciding how you're going to use your time. You're going to be deciding how you use yourself. You are your own biggest asset. So how you decide to manage yourself is going to determine your success. So while we're on the topic of mindset, I'm just going to go into a few tools and ideas and daily activities that I do. And I don't do these things every single day. I try, and I wish I did. But we're busy, and I'm still working on self-management. But these are things that I aim to do, things that I have found for me that have worked not only in my business, but also just in life, in my marriage, in balancing work, in balancing my friendships with my family. These are all things that I found have really helped. So it's all a brain game. It's all about our mindset again. So the first one is our brain dump. So every night, and I do this about weekly. I don't do it every night. I just write down all of the tasks. I write down my personal tasks. I write down my business tasks, little things even, like make sure you go to the post office or whatever it is. I write them down because when your brain is so full, like you're not going to be able to focus. So you're going to be all over the place, and then you're not going to be able to use your time well. So I make sure I write them all down. And then I organize them by category. So I'll have my personal, I'll have my business. And then I pick 1 to 3 tasks in each category to focus on the next day or the next week. And I check them off. And that way I know I'm getting my things done. When you check something off on a list, there's something about it that just makes you feel really good. It makes you feel productive. And the more you feel that, the more productive you're going to be. So again, I organize them, and then I delegate 1 to 3 tasks, because if I do them all, I'm never going to get through. So I use my task funnel to decide which tasks I'm going to do, and then I go from there. Number 2 is deadlines. So you want to make sure you have your monthly and weekly goals. Sorry, my messenger just went off. And that way you have something you're working towards. I know whenever I don't have goals written down, because sometimes the end of the month will come or I'll hit a goal and then I'm like, okay, now what? And I find myself being lazy about things. So make sure you're constantly updating your weekly and monthly goals. You want to put a time limit on it. One of the best tips I learned when I am working on my computer, whether it's business or school or even work stuff, I will go sit at a coffee shop or in my office or whatever, and I won't bring my charger with me. And I am basically racing against my computer to see how much I can get done before my computer dies. And I am so efficient in that hour and a half, 2 hours, however long my battery lasts. So that's a really good idea. And then just be comfortable that you're just doing one step at a time. So know that you're going to do one thing after the other. Try and just look at one thing at a time. You also want to decide if it's a business building activity. So scrolling on Facebook, how many of you guys do it? I get sucked in and I can't stop. So it can be a business building activity. It definitely can if you're doing it right, but I don't do it right most of the time. How do I do this? I'm trying to mute everyone. Mute all. Here we go. Is that better, guys? Okay. How does this go away? Okay. So whenever you're doing something, you want to decide if it's a business building activity. Or if it's personal, is this going to help me in whatever area you're trying to work on at the time? So it may not be business related, but you want to make sure that you are focused and that you have a purpose for whatever activity that you're doing. And then number 4, your non-negotiable. So everyone's going to have different non-negotiables. So I want you just to make note of what yours are. You don't need to do that right now, but have them written down so that way you can look at them. So when you go to set your schedule and your deadlines and stuff, you know what your non-negotiables are and you know that you have to get those done. Acknowledge why they're your non-negotiables. If you have the reason why you're going to focus on something and why you're going to make sure it's something that you do every day, then there's a better chance that you're actually going to do it. I'm just going to share with you some of mine. Mine are the 3 vital behaviors, and these are all business focused. 3 vital behaviors, of course. I post at least 1 to 3 times a day, and I alternate between my branding points. So if you don't know your 5 branding points, that's a whole nother talk, but make sure you know your branding points and you're representing them. I check in with my groups every single day. So I check in with my fitness community and then my monthly challenge groups. And then I try and check in with at least one of my coaches a day. And I kind of do a rotating schedule. And it's definitely not all business related because remember, this is a people business. So I check in with them more on a personal level, but then we also talk about business things as well. I check my COO almost every day. Sometimes I'll forget, but the times that I usually do forget, I find that I am missing something. Someone's going inactive. I've lost my rank twice because I failed to check COO prior to a Thursday, and I couldn't follow up with some people. So make sure you're doing that. And then make sure you're using trackers and lists. This is going to help your management, your self-management go by a lot smoother. So these are some lists that I use, and everyone's different. Your organization skills are going to be different, and what works for you is going to be different. But I have 4 main lists that I work from. I have a 10 in play list. So those are my 10 people that I'm currently talking to and inviting and working on. I have my previous no's list. So anytime someone tells me no, I write them down on that list. And that way I can go back and follow up with them, whether it's a week later or a few months later. And I usually just write down the date that I talked to them. And on that, I'll usually also write down just like what their goals were. Just a brief note. I'm not writing everything we talked about, but that way I can go back and follow up with them. I have a list of my current challengers, so that way I know who I can be checking up on them. If I look in my group and I'm like, oh, hey, I haven't seen Susie post in a while. She's on my list here. I can go and I can shoot her a message or a text and just make sure everything's okay. And then I have a list of my new coaches. So that way in the very beginning, I'm checking up with them. I'm asking them questions. I'm seeing what they need help with. And then I can make sure that they're doing their training and staying accountable. I don't want to sign up a new coach and make them feel like I'm just ditching them. So I try really hard just to stay on top of that without smothering them. So I work from those 4 lists. And when I sit down to do work on my business, that helps me manage my time a lot better because I have a starting point. All right, so back to our self-management. So creating a schedule is super important. You want to have a time for your follow-ups, a time for your power hour, and a schedule just for your general day too. I know before I go to bed each night, I kind of just try and plan out my day. I try and plan out when I'm going to fit in my Beachbody business, what time I'm going to do my homework, what time I'm going to do my personal development. So if I know that going into the next day, my brain is a lot less crazy when I wake up in the morning. As far as your business-wise, when you're creating your schedule for Beachbody, you want 80% of your business to be your personal business. The other 20% is going to be focused on your coaches once you start building a team. And right now, if you're a new coach and you don't have a team, 100% of your business is your personal business. Make sure that you're working on your journey. Make sure you're working on your fitness. This is a fitness-first business. If your fitness and your accountability is not on point, it's going to be hard to get people to follow you. So make sure you're sharing that journey. So again, 80% of your time should be spent on your own personal business. And that's because it starts with you. If you're not setting the example, then your coaches aren't going to be able to grow because they don't have someone to look up towards. So the more that you put into yourself, the more you're going to be able to give back to your coaches. Number 2, know how to switch hats. So managing your time is really all a balancing act. I know we talked about prioritizing and juggling, but just managing time, you have to be able to switch hats at a given moment. So you can't say something pops up, you can't lose all focus and go crazy because something popped up and you have to switch tasks. Be able to be the leader, be the challenger, be the coach, be a wife, be a husband, be a mom, whatever that is, be able to go back and forth and be comfortable doing that. So that might take some time to be comfortable switching hats, but the better you can switch hats, the better you can switch roles and just go into each role smoothly, the better your time is going to go, the more smooth it's going to go because you're not stressed out about those little minutes in between, freaking out that you don't know how to go from working on your business to feeding your family dinner. So you just need to kind of figure out those transitions for yourself and figure out what characteristics you need to put towards each spot. Your power hour, of course, just know how you're going to do that. Be intentional with your power hour. How are you going to get things done? So sometimes I even make a schedule for my power hour. So for the first 20 minutes, I'm going to invite. The second 10 minutes, I'm going to scroll on Facebook and like and comment and engage with people. Then I'm going to friend requests. So sometimes I schedule time because it's very easy just to get sucked into one task. Plan ahead. So if you can make a schedule for your month or your week, describing your posts ahead of time, then that will really help you in those moments where you're freaking out because you don't have time. So I do a lot of, let me see if I can pull it up really quick. I plan a lot of my posts ahead of time. So I'll even just show you real quick on my notes here. And I don't know what else is going to pop up here, so apologize. But these are all posts that are ready to go. Yeah, I need to find a picture for most of them, but these are for days that I am like, you know what? My brain is fried and I have no idea what to post on Facebook right now. So those are ready to go and I can post them. So those are really helpful for me. And then also just planning ahead when you're going to run challenge groups, or plan ahead a week where you're only going to concentrate on inviting. If you have a schedule, and I think most of you have seen like those calendars where 1 week says inviting, 1 week says sharing your journey or something like that. And I can post one in the page after this, but that really helps too, because when you sit down to work on your business or you sit down to post, you know exactly what your focus is. And you're not kind of all over the place, because there are a lot of working parts of this business and it's easy to get distracted or get sucked into one thing and forget about everything else. So if you have something that you're going to sit down and focus on, that's going to help a lot too. What? Jaren says hi. He's creeping me from the side. And then schedule breaks. So we're all human. We all have families. We all have friends. Like, schedule breaks. Don't drive yourself into the ground. Again, it starts with you. So if you cannot manage yourself and you are not letting yourself get some stress relief and you're not giving yourself some you time, then you're not going to be successful. You have to take care of yourself, and that includes scheduling breaks. So even if you are a full-time coach, and I don't think anyone on this call is, but make sure that you're scheduling breaks for yourself during the day. Step away from your business. At work, schedule yourself a break. If for your lunch break, really have a break. Focus on your personal development, or go for a walk or something like that. Do something just to clear your brain. Again, it's all a brain game. So the better your brain is, the better you're going to be able to manage yourself and your time. I really liked this quote: your time and effort is standing between you and success. So that just really shows, like, when you set your mind to it and you manage yourself, you're gonna be able to be successful as long as you have a plan and you can stick towards it. So these are some more tips that I had. I'll just read them. Give more than you have. So that means, like, if you right now, I know I said that you can say no, but if you're in the baby steps of your business, you may have to give away some Shaco samples. You may have to give away some prizes to your challengers, and you might not have the money to do that, but if you find a way, the universe is going to get back to you. Those people are going to be so appreciative, and they're going to give back to you. Make small plans, but keep the big picture in mind. So remember, we're taking it day by day, step by step, and that's how we're going to manage our time and manage ourselves well. But remember why you're doing that. Remember that why that keeps you pushing. Remember what your end goal is, and that will help push you a little harder. Carve out the time. So set a schedule, plan your month. We just talked about build a community within your team. When you can lean on one another, things are going to go a lot more smoothly. Like, for example, Mia Ritchie is my success partner, and we help each other all the time. We'll answer each other's questions, so we don't have to go and research it. We'll help each other's challengers. I know some stuff that Mia does it, and vice versa. She's very knowledgeable in some stuff I'm not. Even our coach trainings we do together. So that way I'm not doing all this by myself. So build a community within your team, love on each other, help each other, be there for each other, and your time will go much more smoothly. Forgive yourself. We're all humans. I know I beat myself up all the time. Like, I had a bad workout today. It was hard. It was miserable. And I was super bummed about it. But hey, I'm human. Tomorrow's a new day. So if you have a bad day and you don't feel like things went the right way, and don't sit there and beat yourself up about it. Move on. Be more productive the next day. You'll be okay. Have a brand and mission. That will just help you with your posting. It'll help you stay on track. It'll kind of give you a focus on what to be doing. Make it easy for your team. So that means make scripts for them. Make an FAQ section, and make some trainings, some self-paced trainings, or have the trainings written out. So that way, every time you get a new coach, every time you get a new challenger, you're not having to recreate the wheel. So this is going to save you a ton of time. Own this opportunity. Be proud of it. Share it. You may need to say, like, I'm a business owner and I'm hiring. Like, be proud of that, and just share the perks with people. Leave a little bit of mystery. Set boundaries. So this is going to be huge in your house. So I know a lot of people, and this kind of goes with communicate too, so I'll push them together. But if you set boundaries, you have set times that you're going to be working on your business, set times you're going to be working on other things, and you can communicate that with your spouse or your family, your children, and that'll just help things move much smoother, and you're going to be a lot less stressed out about it. I find that when I communicate with Jaron that, hey, I'm going to be working on my business during this time, he is much more appreciative and much more understanding that, hey, okay, I get it, and then I'm going to be able to spend time with her. So he's not going to be bugging me during that time, so I can be way more productive. And then just set those boundaries and keep it. Okay. We're almost done. So I just want you to ask yourselves these questions, and you guys can screenshot it or take a picture of it. But anytime that you feel like you're struggling in your business or in life, I just want you kind of to go back to these questions and see if you can answer them honestly, and see what changes you can make to answer them differently. So I know a big one for me was if I did blank more, I would be further along in my business. I thought about that, and I was like, oh, wow, that wouldn't be that hard to do that much more. So you just kind of have to think about that. And I'm just going to read them out loud real quick for the recording. It's, what is one activity I avoid in my business? What is one area where I waste too much time? What is one excuse holding me back right now? What is my main motivation for being a coach? If I did more of blank, I would be further along in my business. In the past 3 months, I've made blank progress in my personal health goals. I am doing PD blank % of the time. Am I sacrificing today to prepare for tomorrow? Am I living a health work-life balance? Oh, that's supposed to say healthy. Am I living a healthy work-life balance? Okay. And so we can open up for questions. So I was listening to something, and I'll just say this real quick, but I'm a Christian, so I believe I have a lot of faith, but if you're not and you just believe in the power of the universe, whatever your higher power is, so the Bible, the very first chapter of the Bible says, be fruitful and multiply. And so that means like do what you were made to do and do it well and spread it. Like, and that relates so much to our business. Like, do what you do well. We all have our own gifts. We all have our own things that we are passionate about. Do it really good and then share that with people. Let other people be able to experience that. So I really love that. And I think that if we can keep that in mind, just our self-management will be so much better if we can remember our purpose there. So does anyone have any questions, comments?
I want to say something.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
How do I stop sharing? Oh, here we go.
I wanted to say you look like a total babe.
Ah, thanks. I just got off work, so that's weird.
Yeah, you look beautiful.
You're beautiful.
And I'm glad I hopped on. And I just got off of work too, and I looked at the time and I was like, oh, 8:40, and I was like, I can make it, and so here I am.
Thanks, girl. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a good call though. I missed the beginning. I want to see what your focus funnel is.
Yeah, I'll send you the slides, and I'll give you.
Yeah, that would be cool because I did have a couple people. Did you record this? Oh, you did. Cool. Because I had a couple people on my team page that were like, "Oh, I already have plans. I hope it's recorded." And I was like, "It's not my call, but I'm assuming it will be." So,
I'll send it to you.
Cool, dog. Well, that's all I had to say. But I love you.
Love you. Does anyone have any questions or comments? It doesn't have to be related. Yeah.
I don't say sorry, Dad.
There it is. No calls.
Janelle, mute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was muted. Hold on.
All right, go ahead, Christine.
I don't have a question, but I was just going to say I really like the idea of the focus funnel because a lot of the time I have like all these things I want to do, like business and non-business related. And it's like, okay, I have so much time, but what do I do right now?
Right.
And they definitely need to be like, I find myself like doing the things that like I probably don't need to be doing at that time, you know?
Because it's tied to our emotions, right?
Right. Yeah. Like I don't really need to shred this giant shred pile that I have going. Like I should, do my power hour.
Yes. And I do
like,
that too all the time.
Shredding can wait.
Yes. So try adding in the focus funnel, see if that helps. Any other questions? Gabby, do you have any questions that aren't related to this? Hold on. I don't think I can unmute you. It's in your bottom.
Okay. I know. I guess it's just getting started with all of this and just trying to piece it all together is what I've been doing. So I guess the biggest thing is like just inviting people. I think I just need to start my first challenge group and just be like, hey, come join me and do this with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the middle of Insanity Max right now, and it's kicking my butt. So.
Yeah. I'm running a challenge group July 5th, right? Did Kristen tell you?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you're more than welcome to add people to that. So.
Okay. I actually have a few people who I think might be interested. I'm going to text them. So.
Okay. Cool. Just let me know and I'll make sure I add you when I open it up.
Cool.
Yeah. And if anyone else on Infant Dreamers wants to get added to my challenge group starting next Tuesday, just let me know. So I'm going to go back to running monthly challenge groups because I find that works better for me. So any other questions, concerns, comments? All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you being on, and I'll post the recording, and I hope you have a great night. Kick the rest of June's butt. Go. Woo!